Hey everyone, this is Andy from GizChina, and today we're looking at the Xiaomi Mi Note. Now this is the basic version of the Mi Note. Just arrived today and I've just taken it out of the box to play around with. It's the 5.7 inch 1920 by 1080 version, 3 GB of RAM, Snapdragon 801 processor and 16 GB of memory. It's a really comfortable phone to hold. As soon as you take it out of the box, it feels fantastic. And I have to say, with my brief hands-on today and also some time I've spent with another one last week, I have to say it's probably one of the best made phones I have held this year. Xiaomi really did go out of their way to make a really premium phone. It's an all-glass display on the front, obviously. We've got a curved glass rear on here too, and it all feels really well made. And you've got this aluminium chassis around the edges of the phone. And that really comes down, it tapers down from this thick middle. Here you can see the speaker, it tapers down into a nice point, and that makes it feel much thinner than it actually is. So, if you look at the specs, if you look at the dimensions and you think maybe that this is quite a large, thick phone, think again, because it's very comfortable and feels much thinner than you would expect. Speaking of size, if I just bring in a few phones for comparison's sake, so the Mi Note has a 5.7 inch display, and this is the Huawei Honor 6 Plus. And this has a 5.5 inch display, and as you can see, we just sit them next to each other and there's not much difference in size. The Mi Note is slightly longer, but it is thinner too. In the hand, they feel pretty much the same, so we just pick them both up together. You can see that they're pretty much the same size, the Mi Note being a little bit longer, a little bit wider, but actually in your hand when you're using them, they feel very similar in size. So, really well designed phone there. If we just move the Huawei out of the way for a second and bring in the Meizu MX4 Pro, again another 5.5 inch display phone. The Meizu MX4 is much thicker than the Xiaomi Mi Note, but again you can see that the Mi Note is a little bit longer, but again there isn't really much in it, and I have to say these really tapered edges on the Mi Note and this round curved glass here, it really makes for a really comfortable phone. And I do prefer the premium feel to the Mi Note over the Meizu MX4 Pro. And finally, we just bring in, for comparison's sake, again, the Oppo N3. Now, the Oppo N3 is a bit of an odd phone. It's a 5.5 inch device, but obviously because it has this rotating camera, it is longer. And as you can see, it's slightly longer than the Mi Note. About the same thickness, just for comparison's sake. Let's pop this to one side. So yeah, the Xiaomi Mi Note, it's Xiaomi's first real premium phone. I mean, we saw a real upgrade in design and feel when the Mi4 came out, but they really upped the game when they launched the Mi Note. And Xiaomi wanted to prove that they could make things other than cheap, affordable phones, and they've gone out of their way and they've created this really premium feeling phone. Honestly, if you need to get your hands on one to really appreciate just how good this feels. Let's take a look at the specs. I'll turn it on while I'm talking about it. Oh, it's already turned on. Let's go around a few of the bits and bobs we've got on here. So we've got this 5.7 inch display. It has a Gorilla Glass panel on there, so it shouldn't scratch too easily. 2.5D screen, so basically what that means is the glass is a little bit thinner at the edges than it is in the middle, and that gives a really nice rounded feel when you go from the edge to the center of the phone. Feels very comfortable, very slick and smooth to when you're using it. Along the bottom we've got the regular standard navigation keys there. We've got the home button, options, menu and back. Receiver grille there and a front facing camera. Around the back, curved glass rear panel. We've got a dual tone LED flash, 13 megapixel camera, Mi logo. There's no speaker on the back of the phone, the speaker's on the base, and you've got this huge grille. So far I've only played around with it and heard a few of the system noises, and it's extremely loud. I will have to test the music capabilities. Xiaomi say that they've put some some effort into the audio, so hopefully we've got some good audio from this. Also in the base we've got a micro USB on the left hand side. You can see this aluminium chassis running around the edge, and you can see it goes from wide to now thin here around the edge and up to the SIM tray, which is a dual SIM tray. Around to the top, 3.5mm headphone jack, got a little microphone there, and around onto the right hand side we've got a power button and a volume rocker. On those, there's a little bit of wobble in there, but nothing no rattle or anything. It feels very, very well made, solid feeling, quality piece of kit. Just from this quick, picking it up out of the box and holding it, I feel I'm going to really enjoy using this phone. Turn the screen on. We've got the MIUI version 6 based on Android 4.4 KitKat. From the home screen we can swipe to open it up. And you've got your regular MIUI system there. I'm just going to turn the screen brightness down a little bit. There we go. So we've got a regular MIUI layout, the regular icons and everything up there. If you've used the Xiaomi Redmi 2, if you've used the Mi4 or basically any Xiaomi phone with version 6 of MIUI, you're going to feel right at home with the Mi Note. Now Xiaomi Shop, who we got the phone from, have already installed Google Play on here. If you do choose to buy this phone, you'll have to obviously import it from China, and MIUI does not come with Google services as standard, but it's really easy to install. You just go into the Xiaomi market, install this Google installer, and that will allow you to install Google Play and other Google services. But as I said, Xiaomi Shop have already done that for us. A few other bits and bobs in here. We'll go into the settings, see what we've got in here. Go down to the About the Phone. You can see we're running Android 4.4, got a quad-core 2.5 GHz processor, 3 GB of RAM. There's 16 GB of memory in here, but only 12.47 GB is available for me to use. That might be a bit of an issue. I wish I'd got the 64 GB because I will be keeping this phone. But I'll see how I get on with the 16 GB. Camera, 13 megapixel rear camera on this. We've got a HDR mode here. I'm just going to turn that on just to show you just how quick HDR saves on here. So I just focus on one of those phones, the Huawei, and that's saved. That's a HDR photo saved. Another one, and I can just open that up. And these are those HDR photos saved. That's pretty quick, pretty snappy. What else do we have here? We've got the regular Xiaomi system applications. We've got the game app, got the Xiaomi store there. All standard stuff. Swipe down from the top, you got your notifications. So your notifications are here, and you've got your toggles there. So it's all regular stuff. I'm going to really put this through its paces, have a full review. I'll do some comparison videos with the Huawei Honor 6 Plus and the Meizu MX4 Pro, and possibly the Oppo N3 as well. Like I say, out of the box, first impression as I picked it up, it is easily the best made and feeling phone that I've picked up this year so far. I will enjoy using this, I think, although looking at MIUI version 6 after a few months of not using it, it does look a bit bland. But anyway, we'll see how I get on with it, and you can watch out for the full review coming up in possibly next week. Alright, thanks for your time, and see you all soon. Goodbye.